if you smell what Waluigi is cooking.
Spoiler alert, it may have a hint of peaches. You won't know until you see the movie, George.
I know, I need to see it. I've just literally had a busy week. Welcome back to Nerd Bible Podcast. Mario Podcast episode. Mario.
The Marvels. The Marios. The Marios.
I'm walking here. What is it? I want to say 246?
Sounds about right.
I want to say it, so I will. Can't even fucking read this in time. 246. Amazing. Yeah. So, I'm George, that's Connor. We are people that talk about pop culture on the internet. A format that was old news in 2018. It's us. The guys. The mans, the myths, the legends. Hello, Connor.
Some DeLorean.
How's your... Have you seen that edit of... So someone did Christopher Lloyd in The Mandalorian, and then they did Christopher Lloyd, Man in the DeLorean.
Yeah, in Man in DeLorean.
And Christopher Lloyd retweeted it. Was like, whoever made this, I love it.
I love it.
Because he was in... Speaking of like Christopher Lloyd and Jack Black, as we previously spoke about for like 45 minutes, they was in Mandalorian. Are you still not caught up?
Christopher Lloyd was
in Mandalorian. That was the thing. So that was
I knew Jack Black was in it, but
Christopher Lloyd was in it.
What? Who did he play? A Jedi?
A man. He had a man in a uniform.
No DeLorean.
That's why they said Mandalorian and then Man in the DeLorean, because he was in both.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
I thought you'd seen
I
it,
genuinely
my boy.
I'm 6 episodes behind. There's 2 episodes left, so in a fortnight, in 3 episodes' time,
You've given
you'll
up
get my
and just
review.
waiting.
I am I am not Donnie Yen in Rogue One. The Force is one, and the Force is not with me. The Force isn't with me this year. I don't know why.
It has been, I will admit, especially with the news recently, that Lucasfilm were just told, just do Star Wars stuff.
Just Shia LaBeouf it, just do it.
We don't want Indiana Jones or Willow.
Yeah, Willow no
or
more.
those other things that Lucasfilm made. It's just those things.
From what we can think, yeah.
Just those things.
It'll be the last cut off Lucasfilm. Jedi Survivor will probably be the last game, as their license with Electronic Arts is set to end later this year. At the minute.
Do you think if the game does well that they'll renew it?
Probably.
Because EA will want that sweet Star Wars.
Microtransactions. Yes. Micro Force cash.
Because I think if they do a Battlefront 3 again, like in the new trilogy, it's just that's one of the main problems
in the Ray trilogy, in the 15 years Ray trilogy.
That's one of the main problems I had with Battlefront 1 and 2 was just like this is just too much. Grind it or buy it. Like all EA games are. Like FIFA became. Like the newly branded EA Sports FC will be because they lost the FIFA license.
Ooh.
FIFA basically went, they're going to make their own game, but they have none of the interface, whereas EA have the interface, they just don't have the FIFA name. Right. So they've rebranded as EAFC.
But they'll just copy and paste the template and then reskin it and do their own thing.
But they've also made moves as to get more people involved, because they are including as you, a football man, Connor, obviously, because you love
very
this.
much so.
He is chomping at the bit as I tell him about football.
Chompy chomper.
So on FIFA, you've got career mode.
Obviously.
Be a pro. You've got online.
Beer pro.
Be a pro.
Be a pro. I thought it was just beer pro. Alcoholic pro.
You drink.
Yes.
You
beer
drink
pro.
and play it.
Yes, that's for real life.
Where you make the player and you can, just control one player, which was a thing that was like, oh my god, this is great when it came out in 2012, and then everyone was like, this is fucking boring, especially.
Is it just the same thing every they don't?
So you basically
expand upon it.
Basically, you would make yourself.
Ooh,
you'd start off with low, but you'd have to play the games to up your abilities and your levels of doing stuff.
So it's like an MMO across the FIFA games.
Yeah, kind of.
You level up,
because also you wouldn't be able to do shit because.
Yeah.
So say you went to obviously for me. Support Arsenal, so I'd make myself be an Arsenal, but obviously I'd be so low they wouldn't play me because I'm not at a good level. I'm not a good player.
No, I thought it was just a bit racist against teams. Oh, he's in Arsenal, we're not going to use him.
No, but so it's like you get played in one game, and if you didn't deliver on the coach's objectives and play to a certain level, then you wouldn't get picked again. And then without getting picked, you can't play. Without playing, you can't up your level. Without upping your level, you can't play more.
So that's a proper Matrix plot. Oh, that is
Literally
Wonderland trip. Yeah,
insane.
in FIFA. What the
They had a
fuck?
story mode as well for a little bit.
Yeah,
It was called The Journey.
yeah.
That had Alex Hunter played by the guy who was the American
Just
in
the American.
Return of Doctor Mysterio. That guy.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
So he
Yeah.
played Alex. So it was kind of like Be a Pro, but it was like a storyline. It was like this kid started off as like just playing in the park, like in a team, and then you had to like do things, stuff you would say to the press as well would change your perception and your sort of career path and trajectory.
So it is like an RPG. You can choose what you want to say to people.
That in the
It's
journey
not-
it was
it's an
but they only
RPG.
did the journey for 2 games and then they got rid of it. But there is rumor that with the disbanding
Yeah.
of because
FIFA.
because FIFA is named FIFA because of FIFA. The Federation, the Federation Internationale Football Association thing,
Something like that. Yeah.
some
okay.
shit like that.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
And obviously, like FIFA lent their name to the game FIFA. FIFA, the organisation have taken their name out of it. They're going to make their own game to keep their own money, so they don't have to split anything with EA. EA have the fan base and the gameplay.
The loyalty. Yeah.
So they're making EA Sports FC. There's always been Pro Evolution Soccer, which was the main competitor
Pez.
for FIFA.
Yeah. Pez.
Which was arguably shit, but also always looked a lot better graphically in terms of fake game faces and everything looked a lot better. It's just a lot of people couldn't get around the fact that the buttons were the other way around, so instead of shoot it was cross, instead of cross it was shoot, kind of thing.
Oh right. Oh okay.
And also it was at a time when, had it come out before FIFA, it probably would have had more fans than FIFA and more people playing it.
When was the first week? Like it was PS1 days, wasn't it? It was like
I've got it upstairs in the loft
97,
because I was going through as an adult doing adult things. I was going through my stuff in the loft, putting all my single Doctor Who DVDs up there because I don't need them. Well, I do need them, but fucking out of the way. And I found some old PS1 games. One of them was FIFA 98. That's how long ago that was. And there was a Road to the World Cup one as well.
Okay.
So I think it goes back to 96.
Okay.
I think as long
Fair
as
enough.
I've been alive, there's been a FIFA game.
Oh.
Until next year. This year, sorry, September. Yeah, because they normally come out every September, and it's all so the last one was
that's
FIFA
true.
23. I haven't bought one since FIFA 21.
Oh, have you not? I thought you played them all.
I generally I did, but it got to a point where it's like
It's
not
the
much
same
has
thing.
changed from game to game.
Yeah.
So I bought 21 on PS4 when I got my PS5 because it came with the free upgraded PS5
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to pay 60 quid to get it.
Ticket, yeah, true.
I paid
true,
30 for the PS4 version and had essentially 2 copies.
Yeah. Okay.
And then not much changed, and I didn't get 22, and I was like, I should get 23 because it's the last one, and I just didn't.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Because at that point we knew the license was expiring, that they were separating, and that there was going to be 3 football games that will only be 2 people care about. They're including, as I was getting back to my point,
Yes.
Ultimate Team.
Oh my god, yes.
You know all about this, obviously, but for the audience,
And so do YouTubers, yes. Ultimate Team.
you get the packs, you get the players.
Yeah.
But EA, now that it's their own thing, are including female players in Ultimate Team.
Ooh, saucy.
So that's a bit of a thing that's like, people are like, oh no, that's good, that should have happened.
Yeah, was it actually only male players? I mean, the FIFA player that I clearly should know this, but
Yes.
Ultimate Team was only male stars or male.
Only ever male stars, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
female players were only ever included in just playing the game normally. So you could, in the kickoff, so like kickoff, you could just be like, yeah, pick 2 teams, play.
Yeah, right.
Instead of like pick a team, go through a season is career mode. So it
career
was
mode, yeah.
So women's teams were in. I don't remember what category because you would have all the countries, and then let's say you'd go to the country, go to the league, and then pick your team.
Oh, right,
And then there was rest of the world. I don't know what the women's one came under because rest of the world added Wrexham when Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney took over 2 years ago. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they were in the first included in FIFA 21. I believe, or 22, because it was in between, so it was one of them.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're obviously a non-league team, so there are it's only the league teams.
That are in FIFA.
Yeah, so it's nothing in non-league. So only it goes. So for England, it's Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2. There's nothing below. You can't go as much as people would love that because that's why Football Manager
Yeah,
It's
right,
very
yes,
big because
yes. It's Football Manager.
it's all
yes.
strategic. You get your transfers and stuff, and it's basically point and click.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm explaining it badly because I've never been probably into Football Manager, but you could
No.
basically take a team that's the bottom of the amateurs,
Yeah,
and
right. The very bottom of the league and work your way up. With
and
them.
you could take them all the way into the league and stuff like that.
No, I've got a friend who obsesses over Bishop Stortford, and he, in Football Manager, he's got them up, and he says he's
Yeah.
actually gone from minus League 2, and he's worked his way
Yeah.
up, and yeah,
Which
sort of know a
I
little
think
bit
a
about
thing
that
that
from him.
FIFA always could have done.
Could have done, yeah, I agree, yeah.
Because-
From the sounds of it,
Obviously their database and stuff, they only have the players with game faces are the most famous. So your team could be in the game.
yes,
If you play for that team, you're in the game, but you don't look exactly or play exactly like them.
Okay.
Obviously you're ranked a lot lower because you're a League 2 player or whatever. But it's not like they've gone into detail and watched any of your games to put you in accurately or give you a face.
right. I see.
So the game faces of the Premier League, all the
downgraded,
superstars and stuff
yeah.
like that. So your Harry Kanes and things like that. It's not anyone playing for Luton Town or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Which I think is a thing
fair
that
enough.
maybe, hopefully, EAFC could elaborate on. I can't believe we're talking about video games, considering E23 is cancelled. This is your
That
E23!
This is it, yeah.
But I think it's something that could maybe, benefit it if they did... Because I think people like that, taking something from nothing and building it into
Good.
something. I think that's why things like Minecraft were good, because you start off with fuck all, and then
Yeah,
you've got them players that on survival mode will end up with a fully kitted out fucking
strategic thought and
yeah fire pits
equipment.
and
Fire
diamond harvesting mines automatically and stuff like that. It's all those kind of things. So I think that's something that maybe they could elaborate on in EA. And if they lost the Star Wars license, I think that's also a lot of money coming in, because if they're gonna move forward and because their version of FIFA, sorry, because obviously it's going to take a while to adjust to not calling it FIFA,
calling it FIFA, yeah.
will make money.
Yes.
But I think both will make money because people want to see what FIFA do,
separately
having
away
their brand
from
name on.
EA. Yeah.
Because EA were
Yeah.
obviously, with the FIFA games, were losing a lot of licenses for teams.
Right.
So you have to, it's not that you have to sort of sign one or the other, but a lot of people are signing with Konami, which make Pro Evolution
They're
Soccer,
PES,
formerly
yeah.
Pro Evolution Soccer, now it's
PES is still
eFootball.
going. It's still going.
It's going, but it's now eFootball.
eFootball.
And it's no longer something you buy. So you used to buy it every year like FIFA,
Yeah, like
and there would be,
installments. Yeah.
the main thing for those kind of games would be the new kits, the new players.
That's why I
the
asked,
new
because I
teams.
thought PES, the last physical, I don't know, PES 12, PES 13, I thought that
5,
was,
6
last.
years ago. Yeah, but they would do it by, because I had Pro Evolution Soccer 2006, played it, and I was like, this isn't FIFA. But I still it's the similar, it's very similar game.
Very similar, yeah.
But with Konami now, so eFootball is essentially like a free game that it's either free or you buy it. I forget which, and then you just update it every year.
Oh,
kind of
fair
thing.
enough. Oh,
But some teams are signed exclusively for Konami,
yeah.
like a lot of the Italian teams. I love that I'm talking to you about all this because
I mean,
it's something that people if you listen to this pop culture podcast and us talking about sports,
Football
which
cast,
we
yes.
really try not to do because this isn't the place.
controversy.
So a lot of the Italian teams,
Yeah.
most notably Juventus, they signed for Konami exclusively, and then it was like Juventus weren't in the game, but the players were. So you still had at the
okay.
time, I think it was at the time, it was Cristiano Ronaldo, Aaron Ramsey, and all that. Still, their game faces, their stats, still those players that you've had in other FIFAs before that have obviously in this season they play for that, but they've had to redesign all the kits, redesign the badge so that it's nothing infringing on the Juventus trademark. And you've had the same with a lot of those teams losing the license, because some leagues even debating just signing completely over to one or the other kind of thing. So because Konami's got the money for it, so you get good game faces, the graphics, and for the Premier League teams you have because they don't have the license to the league. They don't have the Premier League license or the tournament license.
Right.
So they have those tournaments, but they're renamed, obviously, and they can't use the numbers and font of the Premier League. So they use the club's actual font for when clubs play in cup competitions or mainly Europe.
Oh.
That's how you get around that. But in an ideal world, you'd want it so that your cup and club font would change. If you're playing in a European one, you'd want it as the special one and then have it as the league font when you're playing in the league. That's a lot about football that I didn't think we'd be talking about.
Techno rabble. That is proper techno rabble. But no, okay.
But speaking of games,
Yes.
It's because we kind of wanted to touch on Jedi
Survivor.
Survivor.
Yeah, Survivor. I want to say it's Jedi Survivor.
Yes.
Fallen Order, not Fallen Survivor, just
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cal Kestis,
Yes, Cameron Monaghan, for those in the real world.
the man who literally gave a poncho to
Excommunicado of the Doctor Who fandom.
Excommunicado.
An
But,
excommunicado.
It is, yeah. For the long and short of it, I don't know the full story. It's just stuff I'd kind of caught secondhand from being in Doctor Who fan circles on Twitter.
Yeah,
Um,
being in the mix.
Very big cosplayer, and has since basically, like, people sort of like questioned him on his stuff and sort of come out and went, "You did this stuff and it was bad." Sort of has like stopped for a while and then has popped back up in the Star Wars community as a Cal Kestis cosplayer.
And to be fair, he did look like the guy.
Oh yeah, he does. Like,
he
there's
did look
no
like
doubt
the guy.
that the stuff he does and the work he puts into his cosplays are very good. Just as a
Yeah.
person, no.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Purely because Cameron Monaghan was at Star Wars Celebration, which was over in London for the first time, and hopefully not the last, because we could have gone because it was my birthday. But expensive tickets for the whole weekend, and we would have wanted to do all 4 days because
Ideally.
we'd have missed loads.
Yeah. No, ideally. We would have
He
done it
came out to talk obviously about Jedi Survivor, and there was the final gameplay trailer. There's more customization on Cal. He takes the poncho off that he's wearing, throws it into the crowd, and the person to catch it is obviously
for Excommunicado.
Excommunicado.
Yes. Out of everyone in that,
Not
crowd, in the environment.
giving him the time of day and saying his names or usernames or whatever, because you'll go find out for yourself if you want to know who it is.
Yeah.
But and I sort of watched it on Instagram because it was on the Star Wars story, and I was like, that guy looks really familiar. And then I went on Twitter
It
and saw all
can't
the
be.
reaction of the Doctor Who fans,
yeah.
and then all the Star Wars people going, "Oh, I've literally just seen all the comments from the Doctor Who people that are
I
talking
felt
about
a
this guy.
disturbance in the force.
Yeah, literally.
what's going on?
Unbalanced, is it?" But
Yeah.
yeah, it's mental. Of all the people, but
Yeah.
the game looks good.
Mm.
I still need to finish.
I need to
Fallen
replay
Survivor.
it. I haven't played it since it came out. Before the Xbox Series X, like 4K patches. Like I played it when it
Yeah.
was first
I
out.
got it on the Series X on
Mm.
Game Pass, and then I've not played it since. I played like about half an hour of it, and I was like, I really need to just sink into this game, and I've just not
You
had.
just hadn't. Yeah. No,
Like
that's
with a lot
fine.
of things in my life, mate, I
It's-
don't have time.
No.
But
No.
so we got a few announcements. Obviously, speaking of Star Wars Celebration,
Yeah, the Star Wars universe has kind of changed. And,
It's
you know.
what was your favourite thing? We'll do like a 3, 2, 1, and what was our favourite thing that we saw?
Or at the same time, or were we just going to do it?
We do it at the same time. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Filoni
Star Wars
film.
Vision. Okay.
No, no, Filoni film. No, I don't know. Yeah, I guess Visions. After seeing the trailer, Visions. No. Visions. What's that?
Visions.
Ooh,
It's a
wee
spicy
wee.
meatball.
Wait, it's a Malio Vision.
Yeah, so for you, it's the Filoni Mandoverse.
Yeah, I mean that was like when I actually looked at my phone across the weekend and I was like, oh yes, Dave Filoni's cool Disney Plus Renaissance
Yes.
era, if you will. Modern
Reconnaissance, reconnaissance, darling.
Reconnaissance Scout. Yeah, this Disney Renaissance modern era, if you want to call it, the Mandoverse, which I'm not a fan of that name. The Filoniverse.
Yeah, I
is
didn't
what
like when they said the Mandoverse. It was
yeah,
like,
the Mandoverse.
this started with Clone Wars and Rebels. This isn't defined by,
Mandalorian.
as a lot of people point, like, because a lot of people are saying like it's very middling season 3, and I know that it doesn't, like, because obviously you're a busy person, but like you haven't gone out of your way to watch it like you have.
I keep doing the false puns, but there's been nothing in me to make me go. There's nothing drawing me to it this time around. But that's only based off of episode 1, which I was like, yeah, cool, it happened. But I weren't like, oh my fucking god, like, oh, Mando's back, woohoo! Like I was with Last of Us and everything else I've watched in the last few months. Because TV guy, I'm more picky with. There's less time for me to be committed to a program. Films are very do or don't. If I don't like a film, I can switch off. With a program, it's like, okay, for episode 1 was shit, I'm not going to watch. Give it episode 2 or 3, then you're like, oh no, got better, I got to give
It's
it
a
go.
different, yeah.
It is.
It's one of those.
But there's
things.
nothing with Mando episode 1 of this season which made me go, ooh, I can't wait. And that's ultimately disappointing for me, because after season 2's ending with the whole Mark Hamill CGI deepfake return come to life thing, and just the actual ending with Grogu and Mando being split and having the last 2.5 years to kind of ponder on it, just to see it kind of undone and be like, yeah, they're back together, which is kind of like, oh.
Especially when we know that the events between season 2 and Book of Boba Fett, and then leading up to 3, it's meant to have been like two and a bit years that they were apart, but we've not had that.
No, we haven't.
Had we had it in universe, and had he come back at the end of this season or season 4,
Right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would have been a test to have a season. I do the season with both the characters, but have them both stand alone, like Visions. Have them do completely half seasons.
Yeah, so you still follow them. So
characters.
but do you think it's the fact that like they didn't want people to think, well, Grogu's not in it, so we can't market it and make money off of it?
Yeah,
Possibly.
In some way, and I would have liked Grogu to maybe have been walking. I'm not dead of baby Grogu, but I would have just liked to acknowledge the fact that in universe, and the fact that time has passed, that he's no longer in the hover chair, and he would have actually, Grogu maybe would have said a word and maybe had his lightsaber and done
but
stuff.
we obviously don't know how this species ages.
No, we really fucking don't. No.
So it's obviously a slower aging.
Only Yaddle does, if she's still alive.
Yaddle!
If Yaddle's still out there, we don't know.
Could be, could not. She's probably dead.
Probably is.
Because we got confirmation at the celebration that Dave Filoni is directing a Star Wars movie to
Someone's excited about that.
To culminate the events of his shared universe that him and Favreau in the more recent years have
elaborated on. Yeah.
So it basically culminates everything that he's set up, all the way from Clone Wars to Rebels, Bad Batch, because he's involved in Bad Batch, isn't he?
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Because he speaks less of it. It's kind of just like, you know,
it's the forgotten sheep.
It was like, this is spinning out of the.
You want Clone Wars, but it's not Clone Wars. But
it's
it is
more Clone Wars, but with that group of characters that you were like, they were a lot of fun in the last season.
They were fun. Yeah, they were good.
Oh yeah, I like the Bad Batch. The team.
Yes.
I think the show is less focused on, because it's kind of like, it feels filler.
It does.
Because it's kind of like, Clone Wars is the stuff that happens between episode 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And the episodes of the Bad Batch are stuff that's happening between the episodes of the Clone Wars. It's kind of like, how many layers are there?
Is it like an
Is there a spin-off series of the Bad Batch that happens between Bad Batch episodes, which happens between Clone Wars episodes, between episodes 2 and 3?
Is there even a Bad Batch? Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's one of them things.
Badception. Yeah.
Because obviously we got a trailer for Ahsoka, which looks great. We have all the Rebels have now been seen in live action, apart from Kanan. It's just Kanan now, right? Isn't it? Because we have the hologram of Ezra.
Yes.
We've had Zeb. We've had Chopper a couple of times now, because the first was Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Sabine, Wren.
From this trailer.
What's her face? The other one.
Sabine and I can't think of the name. The green Twi'lek.
The green one, yes.
The Twi'lek. Names has escaped me.
Sebulba,
Sebulba, is it?
Sebulba? Yeah, I don't know.
Not Sebulba from Phantom Menace.
It's
Sebulba. What is her name? Rebels.
Yeah, so it's just Kanan?
Ahsoka, Zeb, Kanan. What?
Green woman.
Yeah, I know. Why? Seventh sister. That's not it. What?
This is tense.
Main characters.
Green character. Type in green character from Rebels.
Green character. Hera Syndulla. So Syndulla, but Hera.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Syndulla, Hera, right. Okay.
Will we see her son?
In the Rey 15 Years film.
Will we see... Kanan's got to be mentioned, at least, by her.
Yeah,
now that we're seeing her in Ahsoka.
Because I'm sure...
Would you let Freddie Prinze Jr. play him in real life? Because he's kind of talked about it and been like no, like that was kind of... he's like everything... Like, he doesn't ever want to...
Well, he doesn't want to... Or does he ever want to see the character in live action?
He basically said that like he would only do it as long as it doesn't lessen the character, and he feels like every time he's done something extra, it's kind of sort of made the character less special for him. Which he said, he said even with the voices stuff that he was asked to do in...
What, Bad Batch?
In Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah, I kind of get that.
He was
because,
like,
yeah.
I like it makes sense because like it's all the Jedi, so obviously you would include all the Jedi that are, because this is all canon, so like you would obviously
Yeah.
include that.
Yeah.
He said, but it felt like it was just kind of and throwing me in there. But he was like, I spoke to Dave, and Dave was like, no, it works. You know, it doesn't impede the fact because obviously like it is more cemented by the fact that the character is dead because.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'd love to see him like in a flashback or Force Ghost. Like if we saw Force Ghost,
Yeah.
Force Ghost Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes.
Because why not?
Yeah. Give him a ponytail. Yeah, do it.
Yes,
Do it.
stick that wig on his bloody noggin.
Because Force Ghost, that could have been the thing for Rise of Skywalker, and I feel like that should have been.
It should have been
a
Force
plot point,
Ghost, yeah.
As opposed to just the voices. The voices were cool, but
Because we had Force Ghost Yoda, and we had Force
Yeah.
Ghost Luke. So why is it we only
why
have
is it we've not had it in any
and
of
then
the shows?
and then Leia was the Force Ghost. Apart from Obi-Wan,
yes.
but Obi-Wan
Yeah.
had old Qui-Gon Jinn Slice, but
Chicken slice, yeah.
Liam Neeson doesn't want to
Oh,
come
that
back
was
for
very
any
cool.
more. He was like, it was nice to reunite, it was fun, but move on. Which I get.
I do.
Unless there's a season 2, then I want Ghost Qui-Gon to be. I want Ghost Qui-Gon to be like the Joker was in Arkham Knight.
Why so serious, Master Kenobi?
Just the fucking consciousness of you. Oh, shouldn't be doing that. I'm turning into Alec Guinness now. You should go out and murder all those children.
Go find that daughter, and I will kill them. I will kill them.
Huh, I have a very particular set of skills on Coruscant.
On Coruscant.
Dave Filoniverse, so you're excited for the...
Yeah, I mean,
so
just
basically,
reading the article, I was like,
a
yes,
culmination
cool,
film
yay.
It's going to tie all those loose ends together.
The Clone Wars, Rebels, and
Mando, Book
Smash
of Bob,
Brawls.
Book of Boba, Ahsoka.
Smash Brawls.
Was because Rangers of the New Republic was meant to be within that.
It was meant to be in it, but then because of Gina Carano and Cara Dune's fate unknown,
Yeah,
it hasn't.
Cara Dune mentioned in season 3 of she's gone.
She's gone. Yeah.
She's not here. I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Somehow Kara's returned. That would be the thing. Somehow Kara returned.
I would like to have seen how they've reworked that and what that would have looked, because that would have been a show that I think would have gone on a bit as well. Because obviously,
Yeah, definitely. It would have been live action Bad Batch.
Favreau has said that Mando, like he could easily do that for 10 years, but the stuff that Filoni's wrapping up in terms of his characters and more the animated stuff and how that's affected the live action, because we got confirmation that Lars Mikkelsen is reprising the role of Grand Admiral Thrawn.
The stuff of dreams, but it actually comes to fruition. Yeah.
Because we saw Thrawn in the trailer from the back, and everyone was
Yes.
like, "Wouldn't it be cool if it was Lars
Lars
Mikkelsen?"
Mikkelsen.
And then they were like, "Please welcome to the stage, Lars Mikkelsen," and everyone went, "Oh my God, it's Lars Mikkelsen! I hated you in that episode of Sherlock." You
And he
bastard."
went, I am Palpatine.
Yeah.
He came in and went, I'm Darth Maul.
Yeah, he
I'm
went-
Palpatine.
He went, "I am the Grand Admiral."
I am the Grand Admiral.
Will we see Orson Krennic? No, because he's dead.
We were this close. We were this close.
We're this close to perfection. Lars Mikkelsen and Mads Mikkelsen
As a Skrull.
have been in the Star Wars thing, and they're not in the Star Wars thing together as the
No,
Mickelsons.
no. As the Mickelsons.
Lunch with the Mickelsons. What else did we get? So my thing was Star Wars Visions Volume 2,
Yeah.
because we're getting 9 new
Makes me
episodes.
feel guilty about not watching Volume 1.
I haven't watched all of Volume 1, but the stuff I did, I was like, this is cool. And then I think Season 2 Volume 2 has basically gone, and we're kicking everything up a notch. We're getting an Aardman animation,
Yeah.
doing one of the 9 episodes. We're getting some great looking art styles and some great looking stories, and a lot of focus on younglings and children in this universe.
Midi-chlorians. Yeah, midi-chlorians.
And Anakin killing everyone.
Again. Yeah,
I
again.
thought, like, we would do a thing like and break down Star Wars Celebration had we gone there, because there was so many people that were there that are either involved in stuff coming up or not involved, and it's just the legacy people.
Was there
Ewan
was there
McGregor-
just random actors there? Or not like the ones on stage like Ewan, but was there just other actors non-involved with Star Wars just hanging
Zachary
out?
Levi was
Yeah, he
just,
was just
please
there."
give me a job.
Please give me a job.
No, like you had Carl Weathers was there. Obviously,
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson was there to talk about Ahsoka, because that's coming out in August. The trailer for that
Good.
obviously looked great. We've kind of elaborated on that. We got confirmation of a new Star Wars film set 15 years after the rise of Shit Biscuit.
Shit Walker. Yeah.
Directed by, I forget their name. I believe that's their pronouns are they.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh.
because I'm going to talk about a pronoun thing in a second, but also it's another Doctor Who community thing. Can you guess who? If you know what video dropped this week, then you know kind of like this isn't any hate, but this is kind of a thing I want to elaborate on because I feel like we should talk about it as people that skate around the edge of the Doctor Who community.
Skate, yes.
Who is the director?
He's just saying Ray's coming back and it might redeem the Star Wars saga, but I don't give a shit.
Daisy Ridley is returning as Ray. Ray. She's not a Skywalker.
Ray Kenobi at heart, damn it.
Yeah,
She's
if
Ray
you said
Kenobi.
Ray Kenobi, it wouldn't have meant any difference. Like Ray Palpatine makes no difference because these characters had no affiliation with those characters.
No, they didn't. Well, they didn't.
So it's pointless. Yes, a new film set, and she's rebuilding the Jedi Order. The new Jedi Order.
So she's Luke Skywalker 2.0.
She's going to drink green milk out of a big moose tit and live on an island made of rocks. And like a lot of people said, I hope John Boyega comes back in some capacity.
Charmin Obage Chenoy, who
yes,
I haven't.
I believe.
No offense.
I believe the pronouns that they prefer to go by are they. I might
fine,
not be 100%.
Yeah.
Like with a lot of people on this, like
fair
what we say
enough.
to you is like we don't know. Like I, for one, didn't know off the bat that what's her name? What's their name?
Who?
Last of Us.
Character or the actor?
The actor.
The actor.
The actor.
The actor.
Lyanna Mormont themselves. What?
Jorah Mormont. Did you say?
No, Lyanna Mormont. What's their name?
Liliana Mormont.
Lyanna Mormont. What's Pedro Pascal and
And
what's their name?
the girl from Game of Thrones. What is her name?
Oh, I can't even remember Ellie from The Last of Us. What's happened?
Not Laura Bailey. What is her name? Bella Ramsey. Oh
Why?
my goodness.
We are bad at that.
We are bad.
Yeah, because Bella Ramsey is non-binary, and I didn't know that when
I didn't know that either.
When we first talked
Really?
about it, when we first talked about it, I
What?
used the female pronouns, and I didn't know that. But obviously, like we say to a lot of people on this, please correct us if we get any wrong, because the only way we get better.
don't know these stuff.
The only way we get better at this is if you help us get better at it.
Yeah, some sort of constructive criticism.
to,
feedback.
White males that have had it fairly easy in life, because that's how society has worked.
That was the
Please
system.
help
Yeah,
us.
that was
Please
the
help
system.
us know so that we
Yeah.
don't make these mistakes, because we don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
Like that's the main thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I never knew that Bella Ramsey was non-binary.
Not
But
until now.
but they said in an interview how they'd always felt it, not really sort of, because there wasn't, because I believe they were born in like 2000. Oh, they're gonna make me sound old. Like 2003.
That makes me feel old.
Something like that. And in the interview, they were like, there wasn't really
September 2003.
there wasn't really a non-binary wasn't a thing.
No, it wasn't.
Like
no.
it happened. Like it was around, but like it wasn't like a main thing. And like
It was behind a lot of
at the
closed
time
doors.
that they were little, they didn't realise that that's who they were. That's what they were. They just always felt lost and were not strictly female, but also not like that. Was like I was very much sort of like my own thing, and I was like, that's cool. Never knew that Bella Ramsey was non-binary.
Not until now.
And I think I read and that's I say that because I think I read a thing that the director of Ray's Redemption.
Ray's Redemption, yeah.
What was their name again? Sorry.
Charmaine. I've got to get the same article again. Oh no.
There's a lot of because we don't really prepare this stuff.
Yeah, Charmaine Obage Chenoy.
Charmaine Obage Chenoy. I believe I saw a thing that was saying that they were non-binary. If not, please.
That's just good.
Please correct us if I'm wrong. It might be wrong. I don't know. Because I think I saw someone refer to them as they. So that's the only reason I say it. I don't know. Please elaborate if we don't know. Because there's so many minefields. What else was announced at Star Wars? Many things. This hasn't really gone well, has it?
Yeah.
Should we talk about the Who Addicts? Because did you see the video?
I've not seen the video.
So, are you a fan of the Who Addicts?
Yes.
Yes, I have been, because I remember watching their reviews of the Torchwood stuff when they reviewed that. Matt and James reviewed that. Yesterday? Matt Reeves, yes. Matt Reeves is the Who Addicts movie. No, Matt recently, I think it was yesterday, posted a video, his final video, that he was stepping away from the channel, completely quitting. and puts this down to obviously the toxicity in the fandom, which like I get, but do you know like the whole thing behind it?
Can't say I do. No.
Because also
Okay.
because you lucky sod aren't on Twitter, really. Like you have an account, you just don't use it.
Escaped. Yeah. I ran away.
I ran away because it was boring, Clara.
Boring.
But these, because of the social circles that we are now affiliated with, because we've worked with the likes of because of like thanks to Will, thanks to Mike, Andy, we know Dom. We've like been in the same voice chat as Adam Martin. There's been a thing with Josh Carr. Like there's like all these amazing people that we've kind of we touch the edge of the circle.
The edge, yes. The edge of destruction.
Where there's a lot of people that were that are very influential in the Doctor Who community. They go to the screenings all the time or whatever. We are sort of on the cusp of that, and we've never fully committed to Doctor Who content really.
No,
and
unfortunately, no.
I think that's because subconsciously we've kind of not wanted to box ourselves in. But also because we know, like, as of when we started this, 2018, which was just before the Jodie Whittaker era, a lot of toxicity has been throughout the fandom in general anyway. Not just, like, it's been a thing on Twitter. Like, the discourse has been, like, horrifying and vile at times. And to throw yourself in the middle of that is, it's dangerous because you put yourself up for a lot of hate, which we know, like, some of our friends that we've done things with have experienced, like, probably a micro portion of like what you can expect, because a lot of Doctor Who fans that we know and interact with are lovely. We've made friends with a lot of them through, like we say, our previous work that we've been fortunate enough to collaborate on.
Yes.
With the Who Addicts, Matt and James did it for a while, for 5 years.
5 years,
and then James left. During that, also like his Matt's girlfriend at the time, now fiance, Liv, became part of it. And then was them two. A lot of people had problems with their views on the Jodie Whittaker era because there was a lot of negative stuff. But also they didn't sugarcoat it, because I think to be a fan of something, you have to also not be like, oh, this is the best thing ever. You have to also point out its faults, which I get. I'm not in any way saying that, because I know some of the stuff that I've personally seen for the Jodie Whittaker stuff, I've not liked the overly sort of negative stuff on it, especially when David came, like when Russell was announced to come back, when David was announced to be the next Doctor and stuff, everything sort of changed, and there was a lot of cheeky things that were like, oh, see, the David Tennant effect of like the views for the trailer of Flux, and then the views for the regeneration clip and the upcoming specials. It's like, oh, it's the David Tennant effect kind of thing, and it was kind of like I get the playfulness and but there was an over sense of negativity.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
At least what I perceive. A lot of people can perceive these things. I'm probably putting myself in the firing line by saying any of this, which is why, again, we stay on the outside of the circle. We don't fully jump in the pool because there's a risk of drowning.
Sharks.
Yes,
Sharks
exactly.
Online sharks.
There's people that just take joy in, just pulling, like ruining your day, pulling your reputation to the ground. Which, in Matt's statement, I think the video before that, because that's James's one.
Okay.
He talks about why he's leaving, and because in January, there was a comment that he made, I think a few years ago, on his personal personal Facebook. Basically, it was his views about. It was an article about Sam Smith. In his words, disagreeing with Sam Smith's gender. It was a bit of some rude language about because Sam Smith identifies as they them.
Yeah, I knew that one. Yeah.
And a lot of people have a problem with that online in general anyway. I don't have a problem with,
I don't,
because I don't have a problem with genders in general. Like, it's a thing that I'm trying to sort of educate myself on.
Yeah, gradually.
Because just because it's not my thing doesn't mean that it's not going to be like my son's thing, or like anyone, like a friend's thing down the line. Like, it can be part of our lives. It's a thing that's being implemented more in schools because they're trying not to just separate by gender,
stereotyping typecast things.
Because there's a lot of things that they now have to equate for that they never had to do when we were at school.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm trying to be educated, be aware, which is why, like we say, if we get personal pronouns wrong of actors or whatever, because I know Mike did a comment that was like so and so identifies, I forget, Mike, I'm sorry because I know you'll watch this, but so and so identifies as they, and it was like, like we need people to say like it's that or it's
Point us
this.
out.
Like help. Like the only way we can be an ally is by you helping us to understand to our fullest potential. He'd basically getting back to Matt. He'd said some stuff about Sam Smith. Not great, not positive. I'm not going to put it out there. You know it, or you've seen it, or you're going to go out and search it. But someone had also shared his personal Facebook, and then it got obviously people calling him out on stuff, which is fair because a lot of people have said like, if you don't like free speech, like don't put yourself out there too, because a lot of like I know there was some vile stuff. There was also some stuff that was just like, but if you're saying that, like, why are you saying this? Like, why is? Oh, that's just my opinion. I can say it, kind of thing. And was the kind of the back and forth.
The consensus.
Like, yeah, but
yeah.
why? Why do you think that this is okay to say, kind of thing? So there was things on both sides. So like in January, his stuff came up about his comment, and then kind of went underground. Like his personal one, disappeared. A lot of like the Who Addicts, because that was not long after they'd announced that James was coming back to the Who Addicts for the 60th and stuff like that. And it is a shame, like, because it's a channel that when I was younger, like I watched not a lot of, but it's one of those Who ones that I was aware of.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the Who community have obviously voiced an opinion either to one extreme or the other. I'm not here to add to the fire of that. There is like the likes of Bowles Trek and TARDIS Zone that are the more negative anti-female Doctor spouting opinion ones that have come to his defense, which some people have said that kind of says a lot about the channel. If he like not so much James, because obviously he's been away from it, but like if that's the kind of defense you're getting, does that say a lot about who you're associating with? And then there's obviously the argument of you can't help who defends you. That's but obviously there is a kind of thing there because he did comment on a Bowles Trek video that was the problem. Like it was like something like the what is happening at Doctor Who right now kind of thing, and the thumbnails Shooty and Russell from the BAFTAs. Yeah. And I haven't watched the video because I don't watch Bowles Trek stuff because it's just drivel and shite.
Agreed. Yeah.
And the Who Addicts under Matt is like written, because you can tell it's him writing it by what he says. Like my videos, like I don't always agree with what you like. I've never really agreed with what you said, but you've hit the nail on the head about the fandom kind of thing. You can read the whole comment, and then like ends it with there's been a lot of questionable casting decisions.
Okay.
Which would be the most recent casting decision has been the Drag Race winner.
Oh, fuck. RuPaul's Drag Race, yeah.
Because she was cast recently. That's the most recent one. And if you're saying questionable casting decisions about more inclusive stuff, that's also not good.
No, that is not good.
Like, I don't agree with people getting hounded off.
But Jinx Monsoon.
Jinx Monsoon,
yes. Jinx Monsoon.
Yeah, she was cast last week.
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah.
And is in the new season of Doctor 2, and a lot of people have had no problem with it. Some people have had a problem with it, but at the end of the day, it's a TV show, and they're casting who they believe is the best person for the part. So who are we to judge until we see Kiki's character? Yeah. But yeah, when he said questionable casting decisions, a lot of people were saying, is that you saying that you're not liking sort of the way it's gone because you've had Jinx Monsoon, Neil Patrick Harris,
yeah.
Ncuti Gatwa. Like, have you got like an underlying problem with the fact? Are you sort of a new version of an NMD, Matt? Kind of thing. A lot of those, like, it's pointing to a lot topics. Of those kind of negative outlooks.
Yeah.
On things of like, it's not got a straight white man kind of thing, which we're not saying it is, but like it seems very much that's not a good thing to sort of say.
No.
Like, if you're going to have them opinions, then maybe don't put that into the internet where people can, screenshot it like he said in his video. He does kind of skate over the fact of what he said about Sam Smith, like personal or not, and those details being shared wrong, yes. But still, like, it is free speech, but someone's always going to say, and why did you say that? There's always going to be people that will staunchly defend or fight against what you're saying on the internet, regardless of if it's just about your opinion on a movie.
Everyone. You cannot please everyone.
For instance, us, we started over the discourse between Rise of Skywalker, No, Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, people. That was kind of the topic of our first episode, and that's like even stuff like that. People just like argue to death about and there's been arguments about the trailer for the Marvels because there's so many people that like hate it's the MCU and stuff like that. It's like there are so many problems in the world that deserve a lot more attention and focus
discussion,
than who's cast or not cast in a TV show, a movie.
1,000,000%.
You don't like this movie or streaming service,
then don't fucking watch it.
Yes.
Don't watch it.
Like, James is carrying on with Who Addicts. We're not getting involved because we like to think of ourselves as guardians of the edge. The edge. That's what we are. Guardians of the edge of the fandom. We are Paul McGann sitting on a rock by a telephone pole. Like, we love Doctor Who. We have opinions about Doctor Who that people don't agree with.
1,000,000%.
You know?
Yes.
Will says that Series 6 is the best series of Doctor Who ever. A lot of people say it isn't. You know, he fights the corner of Series 7. I don't particularly like it. In terms of the overall spectrum,
you respect Series 9?
I respect your opinions about Doctor Who.
Yes, I respect yours too.
Yeah. Like you had a lot of sort of like, especially like when we did our retrospective on the Whittaker era. You like it's an era that you do not fondly gel with.
But I did.
But even you was
able to enjoy Series 11 a bit more this time. Or a lot more this time around.
You even come out with some more like positives when we did that. I can see, like, I've had people try and argue with me about Clara on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. And, like, with what Matt said, like, and it lost the channel a lot of subscribers and followers, which it did. Unfortunately, it lost them a lot. But if you're the main face of a channel, then that's going to happen. Like, whether you said it from, no matter if, like, it was posted from a video on the Who Addicts or not. Like, you're associated with that, so people are going to then judge that off you, and you know that that's the easiest place people are going to find you. But there was one of the tweets he did defending it was from the Who Addicts Twitter account anyway, so it's kind of like you're saying it's not involved, but you're also like, I know that it was from your personal thing, but then don't then put it out there on that
on the brand, the brand that you're representing.
Because then obviously then you're inviting more stuff onto it. But obviously, we no way condone the original comments made about the gender naming of celebrities or normal people in general. Like, you know, you can't disagree with someone's gender. Their gender is their gender.
Their gender is their gender, yeah.
I hate to get sort of PC, like, and we hate to be like real. We like to talk about stupid things, like how Jack Black is amazing as Bowser. But we'll have to do that next week.
We will.
But that was kind of a thing I wanted to touch as sort of a Doctor Who adjacent news. That's something that happens, and it's, you know, it's important for, like, we always strive in everything we do to sort of, like, we put across our opinions and be ourselves. But we also know that there's many people out there that will get pissed off with a lot of things if you lean too much into stuff, which is why we don't tend to sort of fully commit to, here's 11 reasons why Series 9 is the worst thing that's ever happened to television.
Yes.
You know, those kind of things.
Yeah,
right?
Those sort of videos and those topics.
And like
1,000,000%. This is why this sucks.
Which is why we kind of only do, like, you know, the odd thing here and there. But we would love to.
Why do you think I don't number my movies of the year? Because number 1 for you isn't right. This is going to be my number 23. You're wrong.
Yeah, like even that, like you know.
It's my list, damn it.
Yeah,
leave my opinion alone.
Yeah,
it's up to me whether I want to share it.
That's
broadcast that spectrum. That's on me, the individual.
Yeah, so that's kind of like all we put forward. We try to be as positive as we can for the audience.
And appeal to as many of the demographics as possible.
Yeah, because we want more people to join in, but we also don't want to drive people away.
Oh no!
So it's you know, we are trying to be as inclusive as the world is that we represent.
Progressing.
Yes, which is, you know, another reason why it's important to sort of learn, adapt, grow. Was there room for that to happen to Matt? Absolutely, there would have been an opportunity for him to sort of. Then what is the point? It goes back to the James Gunn thing. Like, he's a man that grew and changed and called out his shitty previous opinions. Like, you could have got to a point where if he'd have come back and sort of gone, look, like, my opinion is my opinion and I stand by it, but, you know, I shouldn't have said it regardless of how it was shared, kind of thing. Yeah. And sort of had a way, but because I think there is always room to grow yourself and change.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-growth is a real thing. Yeah.
But that was kind of a real thing
Very
we,
real topic. Yeah.
that we kind of ended on, you know. But you know, it's a real humdinger. Star Wars Celebration to, you know, like just grow and be learning and be
Grow
better.
and be yourself.
Be better people.
Because
But
you're always
also,
going to get it.
don't be a twat on the internet.
Yeah, and don't be that as well. Don't be a twat.
Always.
Yeah.
But you know, always do things. Yes.
Always do things.
But yeah, Star Wars Celebration. They look great.
Woohoo! Wahoo!
Wahoo! We will talk about Mario next week
And Jet Black and Anya Taylor-Joy.
and what's going to happen. We'll probably elaborate more on the Star Wars stuff because we kind of just touched on the main things.
Yeah, I say this, I can't promise myself. I may have watched another bit of Star Wars content by next week. But one thing I did watch, like very briefly, I mean, I'll save it for next week fully because I've already finished What We Do in the Shadows season 4. I'm on episode 6.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, I'm enjoying season 4.
people have said I know Jack Black wants Pedro Pascal as Wario, but for real, it's Matt Berry. It should be
No,
Matt
he
Berry
should
as
be
Wario.
Waluigi. Matt Berry's Waluigi.
Matt Berry is the really tall one.
Yeah, or Kaden Novak.
You can fuck that. Kaven Novak as voice wise that could work.
As a Wario.
Or if you're going like the American Hollywood route, it would be pick
Well, that's who? Wario.
Danny
Waluigi.
DeVito as Wario. If you're going to stick with the Charlie Day thing, and Waluigi could be
Tall, skinny thing.
tall,
Like
who's a tall, skinny? Who embodies?
tall and skinny.
You know what? Because he's played villains in every franchise, Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh my god, Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, it's not the worst pick. Don't know. Tall and skinny purple man. That's your viewers' homework. That's homework for next
Yeah.
week. You have
Who
to
will you cast as Waluigi?
Waluigi. And if you've got any good Wario suggestions that isn't Danny
Wow.
DeVito, then let me know. Pedro Pascal or Danny DeVito, let us know.
But where can you get in contact with us, Connor?
Nerd Bible Contact across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the TikTokiness. TikTok.
That's
With
at
you.
Pasty Sheep though. You was doing
Oh,
the email.
no.
You went from email to
Oh,
the
no.
handles.
All at once. See, this is another universe now. This is where everything's all one.
But please do follow us on those social medias that Connor doth say, and
Doth say.
it's nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com for the emails. And as always, we will see you and the rest of the world